Aloha y'all. So today I want to talk about ascension symptoms and certain things that I've been experiencing with the incoming energies. There's a lot of upgrades going on. So first I want to go into the astrology of the planets and where they are right now. So just a little brief intro. It's good to have like a bigger understanding, like an aquarium perspective of what's happening. You can skip this part so you can just begin with if you want to just know about the ascension symptoms, but I'm just going to go into the astrology now. So the sun and Mercury are in Virgo, and Mercury, if you don't know, is the ruler of Virgo, is the co-ruler, and Chiron is Virgo's other ruler. So this is like the everyday to day, like physical routine life on Earth kind of thing. And directly across from that, it's kind of forming like an X. You have Neptune and the moon. So the moon and the sun are opposing, and Neptune is also opposing Mercury. We have Neptunian, like Piscean energy, because Neptune is a co-ruler of Pisces. Jupiter is its other ruler. And Jupiter is actually about to go direct, so in Capricorn. There's a lot going on in Capricorn right now too, so you want to look at which house Capricorn rules on your personal chart, and that's determined by your rising sign. So if you look at Capricorn and you see that you have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all in retrograde, all conjuncting. So that's big business, because these three planets are going to make major shifts for the future. You know, these three planets are working together in their retrograde phase to tear down, dismantle the system. And when the three of them go direct again, Pluto is like about next month, I think, and then you got Jupiter in a few days, and then Mars is turning retrograde too in Aries. So all these planets right now are directly aligned, most of them, like Saturn, Neptune, Mars, as well as Mercury are all in their home, like the signs that they rule. So it's extra enhanced. And then you want to look at how Venus is in Cancer, and that's directly opposing the three retrogrades going on in Capricorn. So Venus in Cancer is a water sign, right? And it's also trining Neptune in Pisces, another water sign. So this brings me into my first point about life review. So something I've been noticing is an ascension symptom I noticed is I've been having insomnia like a few times a week. Last night I barely got any sleep, that's why I got these dark circles. It's not really like I'm wide awake or anything like that. I mean, maybe last week it was, but last night and the night before I kind of had a really hard time falling asleep, and it's because my subconscious, because this Neptune retrograde in Pisces, right? Because my subconscious is just focused on a completely different world. And when Neptune in retrograde is trining Venus, the feminine, the nostalgic energy of Cancer, that's really making us look to our past. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at certain parts. My mind will just randomly shift to random parts of my past, and I look at it from a higher perspective that I have now, so I can see like what it was I learned from it, if that karma ever got resolved, you know. Insomnia is common because a lot of times, you know how like computer softwares, when they need upgrades, they need to stay up to like do the upgrade. That's kind of like what's going on with the incoming energies. Really, like, as the sun is getting hotter, frequencies are picking up regardless, like, and we have to go match it. The winter solstice, there's a lot of crazy things that are going to be happening, so you want to prepare for that. Another ascension symptom I'm having, or I'm noticing, is animal guides. Okay, so in the physical vibration that our planet is at right now, you're not going to see an angel guide or a spirit guide pop out of nowhere. And I mean, you can, you know, with the energy potentials of Uranus and retrograde in Taurus as well. So that's very possible if your vibration is high enough and you're operating at that all the time. But another way our guides are communicating with us is through animals. So I was at the beach the other day, and a sea turtle, like a giant green sea turtle, was coming up to shore. I was meditating, I opened my eyes, and that's what I see. And then a dog just came out of nowhere. It had no owner or anything. It just randomly came out of nowhere and came up to me. And then I looked at the dog, and I recognized it was the same dog that I had in the dream 2 nights ago. So something I'm noticing is as we are merging into the higher astral planes, we are beginning to see our reality in waking life merge with the reality that we're in, our subconscious travels to when we wake up every night. So I think it's really important right now that, first of all, you're getting sunlight every day, and number two, you're remembering your dreams every night, or at least in the practice of trying to. Because me, as somebody who used to smoke pot for so many years, I didn't have the worst memory. There was like a phase in my life where I didn't remember my dreams at all every night. And my twin flame actually brought awareness to this part of my life and why I should really be focusing on it right now, because it's so important to know where your astral body is going to every night, because the astral war that is coming is gonna be, it's gonna be like a dream. We're gonna shift into the 4D. All the veils are gonna fall. You're gonna see reptilians popping up left and right. These are the beings that are running the system and keep harvesting our energy to power their freaking system on. So not everybody can see that right now. You might get a glimpse of it, especially if you're recalling your dreams and seeing and you're lucid every night. Another ascension symptom I'm noticing, number 3 I guess, would be sensitivity to information, any form of it. Whether it's food, like I'm eating a lot less too, because if I get an hour of sunlight every day, I feel like it replaces a meal. Like, so I just break fast with fruit every day, fruit throughout the day whenever you want more energy. But getting in the sunlight every day, at least an hour, I feel like is key to activating your spiritual, emotional, mental, physical body, every single part of yourself. I'm also going to share a tip on how to awaken 2 tips on how to awaken your DNA at the end of the video. Sensitivity to information. I can barely be on social media these days. Like, I go on maybe 2 or 3 times a day, and even if it's like a few minutes, I start to get like a headache, because I just feel like there's so much, it's just so much information coming in from so many different sides. See what your own truth is, because that's the most important thing of how you're going to be going through this whole ascension experience, because ultimately your consciousness and your subconsciousness and everything that you are encompassing, like energy-wise, is going to be creating what the reality of the experience is going to be when we go to spiritual war with these reptilian beings, okay? So number 4 is that time goes by way faster, like especially when you're operating in the love frequency. Like, I was just on the phone. I was on the phone with my brother for a few, I don't know how long it was, but it just, most emotions you can categorize it fear-based or love-based. And something that activates your DNA, I've recently learned, is actually your emotions, okay? Because when you experience love-based emotions like joy or deep gratitude or love or just any positive, like blissful emotions that are love-based, like pure in the heart, then you're not only activating your DNA, because your DNA has to unlock a certain way, and there's 2, right? There's either fear-based emotions or love-based emotions, and fear-based is what they're trying to keep you on, so you never unlock your full potential. But you need to unlock your full potential for the astral war. Another symptom that I'm sure a lot of y'all know about that I've recently been experiencing is tinnitus, or ringing in the ears. So it's usually at night when I'm just laying there with the lights, with like the string lights on, and I'm like in between stages, kind of like meditating while laying down before I go to bed. And sometimes I would just randomly get, like the mosquito sounds, or like the dog whistle sounds back in the day that people would play, and like your old substitute teacher would not be able to hear it, because as you age, your part of your ear becomes like, I don't know, but as you become more spiritually attuned and more intuitive, and when your third eye opens, actually, all your senses actually open. So you might start hearing certain frequencies that not everybody else can hear. And this happens like a few nights ago. I'm just laying there and I just start hearing, like in one ear too, like a ringing, buzzing sound. It's very loud and clear. I'm like, just from my experience, it's really different than what you imagine, because it's like a very physical experience. It's like when you're like on psychedelics, how it's like you experience everything through your physical body, so it's like even more confirmed. So I just want to share a tip with DNA activation. The main thing that you can do that is in your control to activate your DNA every day, aside from getting in the sun, sun gazing, at least an hour, at least as much as you can. The thing that is in your control is your spinal column. So you got 33 vertebrae. Jesus was 33 when he died. It represents Jacob's ladder in the Bible. So, the Bible is actually all allegorical. It's all symbolism, and it's speaking in terms of astrology as well. So when you look at the spine, it's actually, it's your way to heaven. It's your way to Christ consciousness, because Okay, as somebody who has practiced yoga since I was like 16 consistently, it has been a huge part of my spiritual journey. And I forgot to mention that your spine, the cerebral spinal fluid, is the human essential oil. In the pituitary and the pineal, the milk and the honey. These are the third eye, fluids that are the spiritual essence that is being carried through your entire body via the spinal column. So this is why back bends and certain things, like doing stretches every day and moving the sheath around your spinal column, is going to allow the human essential oils that you naturally produce to lubricate your spine, and that's going to allow you to awaken Christ consciousness in your entire body. If you want to know more, I'm going to put a video in the description. Like, the past few months, I meditated more than I have in my entire life, and it's crazy because, like, it's almost like my body needs it. And before, I don't know what I was doing. I was actually doing yoga a lot more consistently because I had a hard time being still. But now I find like I need stillness as much as possible, more than I meditate about 3 times a day on average. Like, first thing when I get up, I need a session. Sometimes I go in nature and spend the whole AM meditating. Then, around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I usually do. And then before bed, it's kind of more like a laying down meditation, playing some music, and just preparing my body for astral traveling. So, yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe for more content. I will be making videos as I feel called to. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like. Let me know what you've been experiencing, because it's interesting to see how collectively there are certain energies that are coming in all at once, and that's what we call a download.